Welcome back to the Chicago White Sox draft-only franchise. We have reached draft day and the futures game. Chicago has a host of players in the game this year. Colson Montgomery is the starting shortstop for the American League, and starting pitchers Hagen Smith, Anthony Medrano, and Kevin McCann are also scheduled to pitch today. On the mound for the National League is Phillies top prospect Andrew Painter. We saw him in last year's game too. You can see he's 7-8 with a 4.49 ERA and 115 strikeouts in 114 innings. And leading off for the American League will be right fielder Mike Harding. And he hits a smash to short, and that's going to be caught. Connor Griffin with the grab, and there's one down. Here's the lineup for the rest of the game. You see Colson Montgomery batting second. Michael Ferreira, who we thought about drafting last year in the first round before the A's snagged him, is batting third. And in steps Montgomery, see, hitting 275, 13 home runs, 43 RBI. Knocking on the door of promotion to the majors. Painter's pitch, and that's ground ball in the hole. Connor Griffin dives, throws to first, and he gets him by a hair. What a play by Griffin. Montgomery thought he had a hit for sure. That brings up Ferreira. He's going to hit a fly ball into left center field, back to the track to the wall, and it's going to drop for a base hit. And he's going to be on with a two-out double. So the American League in a man in scoring position with two outs, bringing up Travis Bazzana. And he's going to hit a line drive to second for the third out. And the National League pitches around a double. On the mound for the American League is Noble Meyer, who was traded from the Marlins to the Rays in this franchise. See, dominating 13-6 with a 1.78 ERA. First batter he's going to face is first baseman Mitch Erdman. Meyer's 3-1 pitch is inside for ball four, so the National League has a first base runner on. Now bring up center fielder Drew Jones. 3-2 pitch from Myers, going to be a ground ball to second. Flip, Montgomery's relay, and not in time as Drew is just too fast. He beats it out for the force out. So they still have a man on first now with a one down. In steps James Tibbs. He homered in last year's game. Myers' pitch is off the plate, throw down, and that's going to be a stolen base for Drew Jones. So now the National League gets a man in scoring position here with one out in the first. Myers' 2-2 pitch to Tibbs is going to be swung through and strike three. Second out of the inning. Myers got dominating stuff. That'll bring in right fielder Charlie Condon of the Rockies. 1 on, 2 out. And he's going to hit a fly ball to deep left center field. This one's got a chance, and it sneaks over for a home run. And the National League jumps on board early, just like last year. Bryce Eldridge last year, Charlie Condon this year. And it's 2-0 here in the bottom of the first. Can't wait to see how many home runs Condon hits in Coors. Next up is Carson Benj, the DH. And he's going to take strike three at the knees. So Myers gets 2 strikeouts, but he gives up 2 runs on this Charlie Condon home run. And the National League leads after 1, 2-0. And after a Nick Kurtz leadoff single and a Christian Moore strikeout, Spencer Jones is going to step in, Yankees center fielder, batting 7th, and he hits a shot to right field down the line. Is that going to be fair? Yes, it is. Just like that, the American League responds. Spencer Jones takes Painter deep right down the line. We have a 2-2 tie, folks. Wasn't sure if that was going to stay fair or not. Let's check out this replay. Gets around on it, pulls it right down the line, and it hits off the screen, off the foul pole for a 2-run shot. Now we're going to jump ahead in the game. James Triantos up, leading off the bottom of the second inning. Myers pitch, and he's going to hit that down in the right field corner. It's going to be an on-base leadoff hitter, and it's going to be a double. National League not resting on its laurels. It's going to bring up Cam Collier, who hit a pinch hit home run in last year's game. Man on second, nobody out. 1-2 pitch, and it's going to be a line drive over to second baseman's head, all the way to the wall. That's going to give the National League a lead here as Collier's going to hit a double. He's going to trade places with Triantos. Noble Meyer having a great year, but the National League's hitting him pretty hard early. Now we're going to jump ahead. After a ground out and a pop out, Erdman's back up with a man on third and 2 outs, and he's going to hit a smash up the middle. It's going to be 4-0 National League. Jumping on Noble Meyer, early 4 runs here with only an inning and 2/3. Now bring up Drew Jones again. Grounded into a force out, stole a base his last time up, and he's going to hit a pop-up in the infield, and Nick Kurtz is going to settle under this, and that's going to be 3 outs. But the National League comes back, scores 2 more, and takes a 4-2 lead. All right, Travis Sikora is going to come in and pitch for the National League. Painter's done after 2. First batter he's going to face his leadoff hitter, Mike Harding. Sikora's pitch. It's going to be a ground ball. Second baseman grabs, throw to first, and he just gets him. Nice range there. Triantos, who doubled and scored last inning, flashing some leather. That brings up Colson Montgomery. You got robbed of a hit on a great play in the deep hole by shortstop Connor Griffin. Sikora's 0-1 pitch, and smashing to center field, and it drops right in front of Drew Jones. I wasn't sure if he's going to catch that or not. Short hops it, pulls him to a single. The American League has a tying run up now. And that's a ball 4 to Michael Ferreira, so now they have 2 men on. That's going to bring up the go-ahead run in Bazana. Scoring a little bit of trouble here. And that's going to be a no-doubt home run, folks. Pitch way up in the zone, hung the slider. Bazana does not miss, and it is 5-4 American League. Just like that. Wow. Way more offense than we saw in last year's game. Look at this pitch. Jumped all over that high pitch. It's it deep into the bleachers. Man, I maybe should have traded for Bazana instead of Anthony. Only time will tell. Now we're going to jump ahead to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Still 5-4 American League. Hagen Smith on the mound now. White Sox pitcher. So he's struggling just a touch this year at 6-10. First up is going to be left fielder James Tibbs. Faced him last year, and he hit a ground ball to Kurtz. He's going to handle that easily, and there's 1 down. That brings up Charlie Condon, hit that 2-run blast in the 1st inning. Smith's 1-2 pitch, and he swings through the high fastball for first strikeout for Smith. It's 2 down. Brings in James Triantos. And he's going to hit a fly ball to left. Max Clark's going to settle under that. And we're going to head to the top of the 4th. 5-4 American League. And Chase McDermott's going to come in and pitch for the National League after Sikora got lit up last inning for 3 runs. 2-12. It's horrendous. First up, Spencer Jones. And he hits a smash up the middle. He's going to have his 2nd hit of the game. Hit that 2-run homer earlier and follows that up with a single to center. So now we got a man on first and nobody out. Max Clark, the left fielder, is up. Tigers prospect, normally a center fielder. Playing left field today. He hits one down the left field line. Tibbs is chasing it, and it's going to hit off the wall. Relay is going to come in, and Jones is going to beat the throw pretty easily, and it's now 6-4 American League. After Harding walked and Blake Mitchell flew out, Montgomery's up now with a minute at the corners and 1 down, and he's going to hit a smash in the center field. Drew Jones back, chasing back to the track, to the wall. Leaping catch, and he has it in front of the fence. Throws the ball back in, and it's going to score another run and make it 7-4. Montgomery bidding for a home run. Is going to settle for the sac fly. Take a look at this. Jones goes a long way, leaps, and it wasn't going to be out, but it could have been off the wall. And Ferreira struck out the end of the inning, so the National League now trails 7-4 as we go to the bottom half. And Anthony Medrano, 3rd draft pick in last year's draft. See his numbers down in Double-A. He's going to come in and see if he can get some of these National League batters out. First batter he's going to face is Cam Collier, third baseman. Pitch from Medrano. Is going to be hit down the left field line. Max Clark with a long run. Dives in foul territory and makes an excellent catch. My goodness, that's what happens when you have a center fielder playing left field. Let's go check this out. He ran a long way to get to this one. Lays out. It's going to be a foul ball anyway. But makes an incredible play for the out. And Medrano loves the defense. Now I'll bring up Connor Griffin. Rob Colson Montgomery if he hit back in the first. And he's going to get a hit of his own here as he laces one between short and third into left. So the National League has a man on with one out. Jefferson Carroll, the catcher, hits one inside third base. And they're going to have another runner on as they have men at first and second now with one down and Mitch Erdman back up. 1 for 1. And that's a pitch in the dirt. And that's going to be a wild pitch, and the two runners are going to move up as the throw is late to second. So now the National League, second and third and only one out. That removes the double play. Medrano trying to pitch out of this jam. And it's going to be a base hit into left center field. And that's going to plate 2. Throw comes back in, hold him to a single. Erdman's second hit of the game. Third RBI. Now it's 7-6 American League with Drew Jones up. Here's a ground ball to third. Grab, throw to second for 1, on to first. Double play, but not until the National League rallies, cuts this down to a 1-run game. Now we're going to skip ahead to the top of the 6th inning. Cam Caminiti is up. Got a man on second after a Blake Mitchell double. 2 outs. Colson Montgomery batting. 3-2 pitch from Caminiti on the way, and he takes it for a strike 3. I don't know if that slider fooled him or what, but blew a chance to drive in another run there. We head to the bottom of the inning. National League has their bottom 3 in the order coming up. Now on the mound for the American League, Kevin McCann, our first-round pick from last year. You can see he's only pitched in 7 games this year, but he missed about a month or so with an injury. Still doing well enough to be on the team. First man he's going to face is Cam Collier. And the pitch is a fly ball into right field. And that's going to be easily caught for the first out. Next up, shortstop Connor Griffin. He's 1 for 2. McCann's pitch, and that's going to be a line drive single into right field. So now they're going to have 1 on with 1 out. Now bring up Jefferson Carroll, man on 1 out. McCann's pitch is a strike right down the middle. Throw down is to the third base side and safe on the play. Connor Griffin gets a man in scoring position now with 1 out. 0-2 pitch, and it's going to be a base hit. No, grabbed and thrown from the seat of his pants. Bazana makes a great play to save a run. My goodness. Let's check this replay. Dives to his right. Rolls around on his butt. Throws from the seat of his pants and gets him. And that's going to bring in a pitching change here for the American League. Going to bring in Andy James. Like I say, you're trying to do the matchups here. Erdman back up. 2 for 2. 3 RBI. Make that 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs. He hits one in the right center field gap, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Throw comes back in. He's going to be in with second base with an easy double, and we have a tie game, folks. Now Drew Jones. He hits one, and a leaping catch at third base by Ferreira. Keeps this game tied. Nice job here. Nice elevation. He's not very tall. He's only like 5'9". Now we're going to jump to the top of the 7th inning after the first 2 batters made outs. Ryan Sorensen's going to come in and pinch hit for Nick Kurtz, facing Sergio Silva, and that pitch is inside for ball 1. American League trying to get a late rally here. The 3-0 pitch from Silva is outside and low, ball 4. So now they have a man on with 2 outs. And the American League is going to bring up another pinch hitter, this time Jason Churrillo, Jackson's brother. He's going to pinch hit for a DH Christian Moore. 1 on, 2 out. 2-2 pitch from Silva. And that's going to be Laced into left center field, and that's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Sorensen's around third. The throw comes in, and he's going to be in safely. And the American League jump out to an 8-7 lead with a little two-out rally here. A walk and a double by Chiriot. American League is not intimidated. They just keep coming back for more. Now we're going to jump to the top of the 9th inning. Fernando Robles coming in and pitch for the National League. Game is still 7-6 AL. First batter he's going to face is Colson Montgomery. 1 for 3 with a single and a sac fly. And a 3-2 pitch to him is hit into right field for an easy out. That's the only batter we want to show from that inning. We're going to jump now to the bottom of the 9th inning. Dan Lyon's going to come in and try and close this game out for the American League. First up is Mitch Erdman, who's 3 for 3. He's driven in 4 runs this game. Here's Lyon's pitch, and it's going to be an easy fly ball to right. Harding grabs that, throws it back to the infield for the first out. In steps Drew Jones, and he's going to hit a ground ball past Bazana into right field. So now the National League have the tying run on with Ryan Clifford up. 2-0 pitch to Clifford. Outside, throw down, and he's safe. Jones with his second stolen base of the game, and now they have the tying run second base with 1 out. Now we have a 3-1 pitch, and it's going to be a ground ball to third. Grab and throw to first, and it holds the runner. 2 outs now. And in steps Robert Hassel to third. 1-2 pitch, and he takes strike 3 on the outside edge. And the American League hang on to win this high-scoring game, 7-6. Andy James gets the win. Silva the loss. Stan Lyon with the save. Let's go take a look at the box score. See Bazana, 1 for 3 with a home run. Spencer Jones, 2 hits and a home run. Doubles by Mitchell, Ferreira, Chiriot. Meyer did not pitch great. Medrano did not pitch great. McCann gave up a run in 2/3 of an inning. Everybody else did their job. National League side, Erdman 3 for 4 with 4 RBI. Carson Benj had 2 hits. Connor Griffin 2 hits and great defensive play. Condon with their only home run. And you can see their first 3 pitchers gave up most of their runs. Silva blew the game late. So very exciting game here. A lot more action than last year. Just finished the Futures game. I was simming all the rest of our games to send us to the draft, and I wanted to show you this. We took on the Yankees, the mighty Yankees in New York. We only have 16 wins on the season, and in this game we got our 17th as Josh Kasevich hit a home run, drove in all 4 runs, and Chase Chaney throws a complete game, 3-hit shutout for his first win of the season. He was 0-14 at the All-Star break. Or would have been 0-15 if he didn't get the dub. So good for him to not go 0-15 and gets a shutout in the process. And check this out. I was looking at the trading block, and Travis Bazana, who I almost traded for last season with the Crochet trade, is on the trading block by the Indians, and he is not on their 40-man roster. And I would love to get him. I don't know if we have enough to get him or not at this point. So, you know what? Let's go in here and take a look and see what it would take. And they won Anthony Medrano and Jeremy De La Rosa. I don't think that will work. I wouldn't mind trading an outfielder. De La Rosa would be okay. Can they take another pitcher? Different pitcher? Cade Cavalli? No. Don't want to trade Medrano. Banez, Maderos. They would do it for Kevin McCann. I really don't want to trade our first round pick from last season. Drohan. They threw him for Davey Garcia. I'm counting on him in the rotation next year, so that's not going to work. All right, we just don't have enough yet. It was at least worth looking at, so you never know. And there's one more trade that I'd like to look at. I'm really intrigued by this guy. He is doesn't show as a two-way player, even though he has that for his hitting stats. Down in AAA, Caglione is 5-2 with a 1.85 ERA, 62 strikeouts in 63 innings, and he's got 12 home runs, 23 RBIs, hitting 297 and slugging 607. So what would it take for him? Gonzalez and Rincones is all? Are you kidding me? Wow. Well, what if we give you a potential pitcher and it's Gonzalez hitting. Not enough. All right. Well, it was worth looking at both those trades. Now it is time for the 2025 MLB draft. All right. Let's hop in here and add all of the players to the board just in shotgun fashion. Add everybody. And then once we're done, I will go through and update this list with the order that I want them in for the draft. As I said before, we are going to target hitters because I'm really not overly impressed by the pitchers, although there are 3 or 4 closers that I wouldn't mind having, but we'll see what happens when we get to our second first-round pick. All right, this is the order that I have them in for the first, 3 or 4 rounds. We'll see how it goes. I'm prioritizing hitters at the top over the pitchers. Rios would have been a perfect guy for us to take. It's Major League ready right off the rip, but he is injured, as you can see right there, doctor exam injured. So we don't know how much he's going to drop. So that really put a damper on that. George Phillips is the other starting pitcher I'd consider, although his hits per nines and pitch control are both low. Does have a great mix of pitches, and he's still opted out, so we don't know if he's going to be injured or not. And we got some closers down here with Wheat and Lewis. We'll deal with them with our second pick. But for the first pick, it's going to come down to either Phillips or one of these 3. Kind of depends on who goes with the first pick. Quinones, he's got really good contact against both sides. Decent but not great power. Really good vision and discipline. His fielding and his reaction are touch low, but his arm strength is great. Really good speed, just doesn't steal a lot of bags, can play second, short, and third. 93 is his max potential, 74 is his max overall. Nicholas Boone, 92 and 70 is his max. Again, he's very similar to Quinones, except he has a little bit more power, but his arm strength isn't as good, so I'd probably have to move him from third to second. Theodore Cho, another one. Great contact, vision, discipline. Power is somewhere in between the other two. He's got great arm strength, really good fielding. Doesn't have a lot of speed or stealing, and he can play first or third. And I believe Quinones, he's right-handed, he's left-handed, and he's right-handed. So we got a lot of left-handed bats, so that's kind of another negative against Boone, just like we have a lot of left-handed pitchers. So it's going to come down to one of those 3. I'm leaning towards Quinones, but I might change my mind at the last moment. We'll see what happens there. Second pick, I'm looking at Gil Perez. Really good speed and defense and hit skills. If he comes in on the higher end, that would be awesome. It means he'll be very consistent. We don't have a lot of holes, except his vision and discipline will be a little bit lower. Again, though, he's another left-handed bat. We got the 2 closers. Wheat, he's got great velocity, great strikeouts per 9. 98 mile an hour fastball, 98 mile an hour running fastball. Lewis, a little bit better across the board numbers. 2-seamer, doesn't have quite the velocity that Wheat does. Got third baseman, Villasmil, can play third, first, second, and left, very position flexible. Just doesn't do anything great, does everything okay, pretty decent. Andres Caballero is a catcher. We already have 2. We drafted one last year. He can also play first or third. He's got great defense, so he'd be great at third base, but I think he's a little overrated. I think we have him lower in the draft order than what the MLB has. Ricky Raditz is another closer. Really, he's got 5 pitch mix for a closer. It's a bit much. Ricky Jackson's another catcher, really good fielding. His bat's going to be okay. Doesn't play any other fielding positions. Tony Murillo, pretty decent hitter. I think when I looked at him, I was leaning, I think his splits were a little tight, so he's probably going to be on the lower end of that scale, not the higher end. Can play all 3 outfield spots. Got Alvin Maddox, another guy, really great speed and stealing. Everything else is average, not bad, but he's 23 years old. I just threw him up the board so I wouldn't forget about him. Rocha, this is the guy we didn't scout because his 95 potential, 95 overall maxes, and even the 77 potential, 76 overall, so tight that he's probably going to come in on the lower end. This is a switch hitter, 6'5" switch hitter. Even if he comes in on the lower end, it's going to be a really good bat, pretty decent defense. You just want to have much of a high potential to go off of. I could be wrong. He could be a lot higher, and that would be awesome, but just from the drafts that I've done and drafts I've seen Fiend Franchise do, these guys usually come in on the lower end of the scale, not the higher end. Iden's another left-handed pitcher. Looks like a relief pitcher. Doesn't have great stamina. Garcia's another starting pitcher with all of his 9s that are kind of low, good walks per 9. Blaine Warren, another, all of his per 9s are on the lower end, but he has great velocity, 99 mile an hour two-seamer. Brian Gagnon, the strikeouts per 9, really, I don't like it. 12 to 31. That's just too much. It's terrible. It's too much contact. We need some outs. Rufus, I threw him on here just because I didn't want to forget about him, but the 9 to 39 hits per 9 is going to rule him out. Kapatic, he could be a borderline relief pitcher as well. Walks per 9 is his only bugaboo. Threw these guys up here, didn't scout these guys. He's another one, only 5 difference on his potential and overall, and this is the guy that was drafted in the first round by the Yankees. Didn't get around to scouting either one, just ran out of time, to be honest. So I threw him up there. If they're sitting there, we may have to think about it. If not, don't worry about it. And then we got a bunch of pitchers, and then I threw a bunch of hitters on here so I wouldn't forget about them as we get to later in the draft, and then the rest are all pitchers. So that is our list, and as I said before, we are desperately needing contact bats. These 3 right here, great bats, and yeah, we'll see what's there with the second pick in the draft, but we're not going to wait any longer. Let's jump in here and see who the first pick is for the White Sox in the 2025 MLB Draft. And with the first pick of the draft, the Angels take Dominic Ritson. Okay, so he was ranked 2nd by the MLB, and we had him at 32nd, and it's kind of too bad that he was overrated on our scale. We'll see what he comes out when we get the final ratings. That 87 potential, though, means he's not going to be an A. He has no chance to be an A potential, so maybe they get a solid pitcher. We'll see. See how that turns out. Now the White Sox are on the clock. Let's go to Scouted, our top 100 on us. We'll go to Scouted. Again, we're not going to take these 2 guys. Phillips, this is that starting pitcher. Boone is the third baseman. Bats lefty. We've already got Anthony. We've already got Montgomery. Zavala is a lefty. Quinones, 5'9". Cho. God, if his power was up, if his power was in the 40s and 50s on the present and not in the future, I would take Cho just because we need the contact and the power. But what is Warren? We need the bat. So with the second pick in the 2025 draft, we're going to take shortstop, second base, third base, position flexible, Sean Quinones. And if he turns out to be a really good shortstop, we can always kick Colson Montgomery over to third base. And the third pick goes to Miami, and they take Philip Olson, another potentially overrated starting pitcher, at least on our scouts board. And now we have to wait, go through these 10-second countdowns and see where some of these other guys go on the board. The 4th pick, the A's take Blaine Warren, starting pitcher. Another lefty. That was another reason why I didn't want to take him, because we don't need any more lefty starters right now. The Rockies are going to take Tony Murillo, second baseman. We had on the board, slightly overrated. And with the 6th pick, the Giants take Edgar Chavez. Definitely not a top 10 pick as far as our scouts are concerned. Cincinnati Reds take Nicholas Boone, so we'll have to check him out. They get a third baseman that bats left-handed. They already have Cam Collier, left-handed hitting third baseman. Washington takes Corey Scadam. Definitely overrated with his 87 potential, 95 overall on the maxes. So that's a wasted pick. Cardinals take John Hare, another overrated outfielder. Cho and Phillips are still there. There goes Cho. Cho goes to the Astros, so he can be the heir apparent to Alex Bregman at third base. So we'll have to check him out. So we need to look at Cincinnati and Houston. Peter Rios, the injured pitcher, goes to Tampa Bay. So they're hoping that he isn't injured severely and he still has upside. Terrence Ramirez, we didn't scout, goes to Detroit. Yeah, those splits being tight was the reason why we didn't bother looking at him. Andres Caballero, catcher with great defense that can play first and third, goes to Toronto. Pirates take George Phillips. So the best starting pitcher as far as our scouts are concerned goes number 18 to the Pirates. So they may get another pitcher to roll into the staff with Paul Skeens. Gil Perez, right fielder. We were hoping he could slide through to the second round, maybe. Goes to Baltimore, like they need more hitters. Steven Martin, wild and crazy guy, goes to the Yankees. Strikeouts and pitch control are terrible. Will Garcia, starting pitcher we thought about, but we figured he was going to be on the lower overall, higher potential area. Darren Kopitic goes to the Dodgers, borderline starter, probably reliever. And it's our turn now with pick 35. So we have a chance to take either one of these closers. Daryl Iden, he's going to be a reliever. You could take Ricky Jackson. It's going to be a guaranteed B, but he's going to probably be in the high 50s at 21. You could take Alfredo Vasamil, who's guaranteed to be a B, probably in the 60s. He could play first, second, left, and third. He's kind of just average across the board. 6'5", bats left-handed. Nothing else hitting wise. Alvin Maddox, he's 23. He's going to be in the 60s. B potential in the 60s at 23 though. Really good speed. So Rocha, the guy we didn't scout because we thought he was going to come in on the lower end because of those tight splits. No one's taking him right now, which means he's probably not on a lot of boards if he hasn't gone by now. So we could probably, same thing with Benitez and Guerrero. So we could probably shift those guys later in the draft. So we need to decide between a closer, this catcher, who we could probably get next round, and this third baseman, who we could probably get next round. Guys, I am really leaning towards, might regret it because we might miss out on those two hitters, but I'm leaning towards taking Dane Wheat. Is he lefty? Yeah, that's all right. That's bullpen. Let me see. He's right-handed. Got 2 minutes left. He's 22. He's 22. Garrett is a guaranteed A. I think I'm going to take a closer. So we actually have a young pitcher in this organization that might come up pretty soon. And hope one of those batters slides through. It's all right. Pick number 35, Garrett Lewis, closing pitcher to the White Sox. Dane Wheat, the other closer, goes to the A's. All right, it's our pick again here in round 2. We've got Alfredo Vasamil, I'm sorry, Alfredo Villasmil, who can play first, third, second, and left. Another left-handed bat. Alvin Maddox, 23 years old. Didn't scout him. Rocha, our pitcher. I'm gonna take this third baseman. It's pretty solid. The arm's not gonna be great. We could always play him at first base. He's 6'5", 243, so he's probably more along the lines of an outfielder first base anyway, especially with that arm. So, all right, Alfredo Villasmil is going to be our pick. And Marshall Ali, who the Yankees took in the first round last year and were unable to sign him, goes to the Royals in round 2 this year. All right, here we are in round 3, and we got a bunch of hitters that are still available. Rocha is still sitting there. No one has taken him, so I'm gonna keep waiting because there are some other players. Let me go to second base. We have this guy that's a guaranteed to be 85 or higher and in the 60s that can play second base. And we have him at third. Who's the other one? Madlock. Didn't scout him. So Maddox and Rocha. He's got a much higher split. We're going to take Alvin Maddox. We're going to take another hitter. I know he's 23 years old, but we're in the third round now, so I don't have to worry about it. And here we are in round 4. Rocha is still there. Gagnon is still there. He's not rated. MacArthur is the highest guy that's actually rated. His walks per 9 are just so bad. I'm not going to wait any longer. We're going to go ahead and take Art Rocha right here and make sure we get this hitter. I think this guy's going to play outfield or first base for us, so let's grab him right now. And Walt MacArthur went at number 131 to the Yankees, so he won't be around for the next pick, which is right now. So we're going to go ahead and take this Brian Gagnon right now. So we get our first pitcher in the draft, not rated player. Probably in the 50s, probably in the 80s, though it could be in the 90s, and, you know, we'll see. And we are to the last round. Stick Thomas Madlock. Got a bunch of infielders on this team, and some of them are in the 23-year-old range, but hey, we could always ship them out as one of our other 2 trades, and you can always change positions and move them around. So it's our last pick. All right, real quick run through. Shortstop Sean Canone's in the first round. Garrett Lewis, closer, guaranteed to be an A potential with pick 35 in a competitive balance round A. Alfredo Villasmil, guy that can play first, third, second base, and left field. Probably first, third, or left field. Third round, we get Alvin Maddox, second base. Fourth round, Art Rocha, not rated player. We didn't scout, thinking he's coming in on the lower end. Don't know if he can play secondaries, but with his fielding and his height, he's probably going to be a corner guy or an outfield. Brian Gagnon, only starting pitcher we took. Got him in the 5th round. Right-handed pitcher. His per 9s are low, so we're going to have to develop him up. We got plenty of time. In the last round, Thomas Madlock. Didn't scout him very much, but he had 77 and 91, so we're hoping he comes in somewhere closer to the 80s, low 80s, mid 80s, although he could be in the high 70s, whatever. It's the last pick of the draft, so we're just taking a shot in the dark here. And Art Rocha is the first player to sign. Alvin Maddox was their second player to sign. Alfredo Villasmil, our next signee. And Thomas Madlock signs too. And Chase Chaney, injured shoulder. It's going to be out 1 to 2 months. Put him on the DL. Got to call someone else up. And it's time. Davy Garcia is going up to the big leagues. He will stay there the rest of the year, so let's hope he does well. And Garrett Lewis, the A potential closer, signs on the dotted line as well. Brian Gagnon, our only pitcher that we drafted, signs. And finally, our first round pick, Sean Canone, signs on the dotted line. Gave him $6.7 million, so all of our draft picks are signed and ready to go for next year. All right, and we have reached the trade deadline, and there are a couple of trades I could make, but I'm going to hold off this year. I'm not going to do it. I want to give another year for our guys to develop, see where we're at, and see what other players are actually still off the 40-man are available. I know Bazzana is still there. Caglione from the Royals is there. Charlie Condon from the Rockies. So you have multiple options. I just don't want to burn the second one right now. So we'll think about it again this time next season. But we are not going to make a trade. So let's get through this deadline and take a look at our draft prospects and see what their real ratings are. All right, it is time to reveal what the real overall and potentials are for all of our draft picks. And here we go. Look at all of that blue. God, and all those hitters. Quinones is an 88 potential with 69 overall. Contact is already in the 70s. Vision's in the 70s. Durability is high. That's good. Fielding is low, so we'll have to work on his fielding. But his arm is strong. Gotta love that. All right. Garrett Lewis, the closer. We knew he was going to be an A potential, and he's almost MLB ready. I think we could put him in AAA next year and give him a little bit of time and then go. Maybe just work on his pitching clutch. He looks almost plug and play. 92 potential, 71 overall closer. Alfredo Villasmil, 86 with a 64. And we knew when we were looking at him, all of his stuff was going to be pretty level. Contact, power, vision, disciplines. Clutch is a little low. Fielding reaction is decent, but his arm's not. Maybe left field, maybe second base. Maddox, 88 potential, 66 overall. He is 23 years old. He can only play second base. But that gives us at least another bat to develop in the minors. Could be a bench player, you never know. Rocha, we said, had a feeling he was going to be on the lower end with those very tight splits. So he's a 76 with 76 potential, 75 overall. So he's about as good as he's going to get unless he earns a dev upgrade, potential upgrade. Power's already in the 60s. He's got great clutch, great discipline, good arm and reaction. Says third base, second base. Really wouldn't put a 6'5", 213-pound guy at second base, but he can play third. He can play left. You can play him at first. He's someone who might just jump straight to the major leagues at 21 next year because we definitely need major league bats. Brian Gagnon's 88 potential, 53 overall. That hits and Ks per nine is really low, so we're going to have to work on his per nines. He's probably a good 4 or 5 years away from even being considered. And then the very last pick took a shot in the dark with Thomas Madlock. He has 82 potential, but he's only 51 overall. 23 years old, can only play second base. So we have two guys that can only play second base. We could always use him, trade him for one of these other good prospects that we want down the road. So in the meantime, he can fill in down at AA and see what he can do. That durability at 39, though, is pretty bad. But he does have good speed, so let's go look at some of the other guys here. Nothing there for Cleveland. Nothing for Detroit. Two guys unsigned. Kansas City. All the teams in our division having a bad draft except the Twins with Will Garcia, 86 potential. 60 overall. That 67 stamina is not going to be good. I would move that to the bullpen. We took Navarro, who we had on the board, 86 potential, but only 47 overall, so he's going to take a while. Cho was the other third baseman, 86 potential, 65 overall, so he was very similar to the shortstop we took. Very similar, just doesn't, his speed's a little bit lower, power against lefties a little bit better. So we couldn't have gone wrong with either, although I did notice his durability is lower at 66, where Quinones is in the 90s. Look at that name, Reggie Full of Love. Ritson was a starting pitcher high at the on the MLB list, and we had him down for good reason. Only at 81 potential. 68 overall is not bad, but only 81 potential. So reliever, starting pitcher. Wheat was the other pitcher. He came in at 89, so he did not get the A potential. And his control's low, his hits per nine's low. Clutch is good. Ks and home runs are good. He's a lefty. We really wanted to get another right-handed pitcher. Nothing in Seattle. Antoine Williams, 95 potential, 70 overall closer. There you go. Rangers. Got it. We didn't have time to scout him out, so they did good there. Jose Marquez, they got another, well, it looked like a decent reliever, but his clutch is 10, so that's not going to be helpful. Otis Dell, durability of 26. Ricky Jackson was the catcher we were looking at. He got taken before we had a chance in the second, well, not second round, our second first round pick, but that durability of 59 is really good defense, though. Good contact. I'll let the Marlins take care of him. Matt Gillis, 88 with 66 overall. Pitching clutch is terrible. Archie Warner, 86 potential, only a 51. Gus Stafford, 88 with 57. Man, those, look at these guys. He's got 41 durability. He's got 26. It's terrible. Not a good draft. Alan Gage, 99 potential in the last round with a 56 overall. He's not a first baseman with that power skill. They're going to have to really work in his power, but that 99 potential, you never know. Cubs could get a steal in the last round. There we go. Nick Boone, 86 potential, 64 overall. Ooh, 40 durability. So we lucked out on that one since we can't see that when we're scouting him very well. Great vision, discipline, and contact. Good contact against righties. Got to work on his arm. But that durability, yikes. That's an injury-prone player waiting to happen. So dodged another bullet. Bryce Guerrero, 86, 61 overall, 86 potential. He has 94 durability, so looks like he's probably going to play first base with that defense. And Darren Hemphill, 94 potential, 55 overall, but he's 21 years old, so he's going to be one of those late bloomers. There you go, 92 potential, 61 overall, 18-year-old. Didn't see him. Would have taken him if I'd have known that. John Hare, right fielder, 92 potential, 62 overall, doesn't have power. That's a leadoff hitter right there, though. Look at that speed. Great arm. Vision, discipline, clutch, bunt. Looks like the Cardinals got themselves... I even said he was overrated, didn't I, in the first round? So they got themselves a leadoff man. There's another starting pitcher that was at the top of the board. Terrible clutch. You have to work on his per nines a lot and his clutch. Third base, 89, but he's only a 48. Enriquez, left fielder, 86 potential. Look at that. That's another leadoff hitter, but 55 durability. Man, San Diego's got to do something about the durability. It's just terrible that they have so many injury-prone players. It makes it really hard to develop players when they're always on the DL. Daryl Iden, we looked at him, but I said no because of that stamina. Look at that, 54. He's definitely a relief pitcher. Gil Perez, right fielder, 66 with an 85. Not bad. Gage is 85, 61 overall. That's not bad either. Dudley Reed, 93 potential. There's another leadoff guy. Durability of 37. Come on, man. That's just terrible. Steve Martin, 90 potential, 71 overall. Didn't see that when we were looking at him. Case per nine is really low. I think that's why we didn't go, because his case per nine were so low, and his clutch is down too. But hey, if they can get him devved up, and then they get a 90 potential shortstop with their next pick. All of his hit skills are really low, and he's 21. MacArthur, we thought about him. That walks per nine, K per nine, hit per, all that's so super low. Great potential though, 89. He's only 19. Peter Rios, that was the starting pitcher. 89 potential, 73 overall. He would have been an A. So he didn't drop nearly as much. So this is the guy we passed on taking because he was injured. And it turns out he wasn't injured as badly. Durability is 53, so that could affect him down the road. But great velocity, a lot of strikeouts. Just got to work on his per nines. Another left-handed pitcher. 23 years old. If he was like 18, I would have considered that. But at 23, I didn't want to chance it. And then they get a closer, Ricky Raditz, who's pretty close to the major league. 69 with a 91 potential. Nice pitching draft. Caballero's the catcher we thought about, but He wasn't going to last our second pick. Doesn't have a lot of power. Otherwise, good plate skill. Again, 55 durability. Come on. Can't argue with that. Look at all of that green. I'm happy, most happy because his durability is 90. The other two guys were probably just as good at hitters, but we lucked out and got the guy that doesn't get injured. And now we got an A potential 71 overall closer ready to go next year. And we got a bunch of infielders. So next year we're going to have to look for some outfield. I might just move Rocha to like, what is his arm? 68, and probably move him to left field. He could play right. That 50 fielding. Probably move him to left or first base and move him off the infield. He's got to play second. He's got to play second. He's got to play second. He could play first base. We could move this guy to first base. Move Rocha to left. Quinones can play short. And we got a couple of older second basemen that we could probably use to trade to try and get a better overall prospect. So we'll look at dealing one of those guys next year. Depends on injuries as well. So anyway, great draft. Love it. Wanted hitting, and we only got one pitcher, one starting pitcher, and one closing pitcher, which we desperately needed. And everybody else is infield. So we got to hopefully find some outfielders next year because we're a little light there. But yeah, very, very happy with that draft. But that's going to do it. So we got the Futures game in. A lot of action in that game, more than I was expecting. We got the draft done. Had a great draft. Got a lot of infield bats. Gonna have to move some guys around. Got a closer. And our young pitchers from the last year are pitching well, so that's very encouraging. And that's going to be it for now. When we come back next time, we're going to slam through August pretty quick, do the September call-ups, and then I will show you some of Colson Montgomery once he gets called up to the majors as one of those September call-ups. And we will get to the end of the season, show you the final stats, and show you who won the World Series and all the award winners and the league leaders and all that good stuff. And we may lump the off season in, or I might just save it, just do the off season and a spring training as a separate one, so that we can spend some time watching Colson Montgomery in spring training. And anybody else I decide to add to the 40-man roster, I'll probably will go into the Rule 5 draft again and add one or two or three guys. I want to limit our 40-man roster as long as I can. See if we can find some other guys that are in their mid-20s that are B potential that we could possibly slide in or get some C's. Definitely want to see if we can find some outfield help. So if you like what you're seeing, please click like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on your notifications so you know when the next episode is going to be live, and I will see you again. White Sox Draft Only Franchise.